Hey, Brian, good morning. Yeah, so we just came here to Kirkland where we are feeling those winds. They have picked up in just the last few minutes, in fact. And we were spending the last hour really trying to check out some of the different areas we know where there have been some issues already this morning. First going to I-90 where there was a report of some trees down around milepost 22. Happy to report that in both directions, both eastbound and westbound, I-90 looking good. And then coming up here on 405, things were looking good as well. The roads were a little wet this morning, but actually going northbound, I know that there was an incident there. So we're going to now work our way over to Snohomish County to see if we can check out some of the other reports of trees down and power outages that have been out there for a little bit now. But first, let's go over to Adam Gerke to talk a little about some of those incidents, including that one on 405, where at least they were able to let traffic pass while there was that issue there. Adam, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Right now, taking a look just around the general Puget Sound, kind of getting a lay of the land where we're at. Seeing the I-5 corridor, we're going to check that out, getting up in towards the King-Pierce County line at this point, right in past the billboards. Finding volumes checking in all right. 405 into Bellevue northbound, getting in right around I-90 to see one little tiny cube of slowing. But as far as our volumes are concerned right now, it's that lighter volume start. This is kind of what we would expect usually in the 5 o'clock hour. The bigger issue I have right now is going to be with down branches in your neighborhood or getting out to the highways and byways. I saw a number of actually rolled traffic barrels that had kind of rolled into lanes because they'd blown over. So that's the kind of stuff that we're watching for this morning in the dark, things that might be impeding your actual ability to drive. So watching for that, dark intersections, down branches. You're going to have to take it just a little bit easy as you get on through this. Looking like we were talking to Taylor Winkle now. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. I'll leave it back to whoever's next. Oh, it's going to you, Taylor. How about that?
Yeah, Adam, and I'm glad you did come to me because this is a great example of exactly what you're talking about today. We are on North 45th here in the Wallingford neighborhood of Seattle. Watching drivers navigate around this morning. Behind us here, you can see there is a huge tree blocking the road. This is right in front of the Dick's Burgers on North 45th. So when it fell, it brought down the bus trolley lines with it. That's high voltage electricity. So Metro buses are still running in this neighborhood this morning, but now they have to be rerouted around this while Metro works on getting this tree out of the road here. We're watching tons of well, not a ton of drivers. It's still 5 a.m. quite early, but still a number of cars coming here, pausing and wondering how to get around this mess. We saw reports of at least 2 separate downed lines here in this area and several more trees down throughout Seattle alone. We've seen city utility workers driving through this area in a cherry picker truck working to try to get the power back on for the areas that don't have it. When we first got here this morning, about 50 minutes ago, it was pitch black. So they are hard at work this morning because the street lights are back on here on 45th. I want to spin you around, though, to look in front of the Ezels just right up the street. You can see just a block away there is more caution tape blocking the road. Drivers can't get through up here either because of various downed lines, downed tree branches. So this is what drivers are navigating around this area. Again, North 45th here in Wallingford. And this is just one of the areas seeing issues this morning. So if you're trying to get around, watch out for downed wires, downed lines, and also the workers who are trying to get the power back on and keep it on in the rain. You can see the gusty wind, and it is still very dark outside. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Taylor, thank you. Also learning more about the power lines that are down in the Queen Anne neighborhood of Seattle. We're learning that the power lines caused a fire. This is at Aurora Avenue North and Lynn Street. You can see the power lines down in the road. We have a crew headed to that scene as well.
Firefighters rescuing 3 people who were trapped inside of a car after a tree toppled over onto the vehicle. Seattle Fire says they responded to the scene yesterday near Green Lake on Aurora and Whitman Place. Crews say power lines also came down. All 3 people, though, expected to be okay. In Snohomish County, crews also had a similar situation. They say around 7 p.m. yesterday, crews rescued a driver in Granite Falls after a tree fell onto the car. They are warning that oversaturated ground causing problems for tree roots. And we're also seeing power outages across our area. Here's a look at that right now. Puget Sound Energy reporting more than 110,000 customers without power. Seattle City Light reporting more than 24,000 customers without power, and Snohomish County PUD reporting more than 8,000 customers without power.